New on CBS 4 News at 11, wintry weather puts a stranglehold on South Florida. When will we get back to normal? A bombshell book sends shockwaves across both sides of the political aisle. And late night laughs have also caused some tears. Find out why Jay Leno's new show is getting canceled. Good evening, I'm Natalia Zaya. CBS 4 News Tonight starts right now.
From Miami-Dade, Broward, and the Keys, this is South Florida's CBS 4 News.
Freezing South Florida. The bitter blast that's battered us continues, and we're seeing some things we don't encounter too often. The birds in one Homestead neighborhood can't use this bath because the water is frozen. And get this picture was taken at 9:45. We are not catching a break from this cold. And check this other photo out from Biscayne and 79th Street in Miami. A group of iguanas were out sunbathing, waiting for the heat to come. Meteorologist Jeff Baradelli is here to tell us how long those iguanas and the rest of us are going to have to wait for some warmth. Jeff?
It's going to be a very gradual warming process. Actually, tomorrow morning is probably going to be the coldest morning we've seen so far in this stretch, and then it's all uphill from there, but it's a very gradual climb. So far, January has been very, very cold. We've been 14 degrees below normal. That's unbelievable. This stretch of cold weather is really the coldest stretch we've seen in about 10 years or so. This weekend, our temperatures for the most part have been about 30 degrees below normal. And this morning's temperatures in all of South Florida, the coldest since 1989. It's been quite a long time. In fact, we tied a record in Miami, 35, the record this morning, the old record also 35 degrees. This afternoon, once again, we didn't get that much sunshine. The clouds held the temperatures down a little bit. Our temperatures were 25 to 30 degrees below normal. We only got to 47 in Pembroke Pines, only 46 in Opelika, only 49 in Fort Lauderdale. The normal high is 76 degrees, and it was blustery all day. Overnight tonight, we still have a northerly wind flow, and I think our temperatures will get down to around 33 in Miami, maybe 32 in Fort Lauderdale. The old record in Miami, 37. The record in Fort Lauderdale, 33. We should come close, if not break records overnight tonight. Because we're expecting such low temperatures, a freeze warning in effect for Miami-Dade and Broward, and also a wind chill advisory in effect for Miami-Dade, Broward, and the mid to upper Keys. Wind chills in the 20s over the mainland and probably 30 to 35 in the mid and upper Keys as well. Okay, coldest night so far. Right now we have some high clouds, like a blanket, kind of trapping the heat in, keeping temperatures a little bit higher. But those high clouds are going to move on out, and they are beginning to move on out already, and high pressure is building on in. That's going to drive the cold air to the south, and it will remain breezy overnight tonight. How low will it go? Probably some upper 20s, especially over inland areas like northwest Fort Lauderdale, 28 degrees, Pembroke Pines, 29, West Kendall, 29, just a little warmer towards the beach, 36. So when will we warm up? I'll have the specifics on that coming up in just a few minutes.
All right, thanks, Jeff. Well, for the best weather coverage on the web all day, every day, including our exclusive Zoom radar technology, log on to cbs4.com/weather. And if you see news or weather happening and capture it, send it to us. Our email is pics@cbs4.com. And why not add our email address to your contact list so you can send in your great pics and see your image on TV. Well, the cold is really rough for thousands of South Florida families tonight. Florida Power and Light reports about 12,000 homes in Miami-Dade and Broward counties are without power right now. And one family tells us they haven't seen anything like this in a long time.
Not since Hurricane Wilma did we have this where we had to pull out all the candles, all the things. And I have my mother, she's 87 here, and trying to keep her warm.
Well, FPL says they broke a record today for power usage. A lot of that electricity is being used to power space heaters, but not everyone who needs a heater has even been able to get one. Some stores are selling out. A stretch of customers lined up at Shell Lumber Hardware on the 2700 block of Southwest 27th Avenue in Miami today. The store sold out of more than 500 heaters by 2 this afternoon, and that is after selling out of 400 yesterday.
I think nobody expected it or expected it to last this long. I think that's why right now people were, it was like a frenzy for heaters. I mean, we weren't expecting to sell so many.
Oh, good for business, I guess. Shell Lumber says it still has logs for fireplaces, but they aren't sure when they'll be getting a new shipment of heaters. The frigid temperatures are taking a toll on South Florida's second biggest moneymaker. Farm owners were out earlier this week trying to protect their crops. They thought the worst of it was over, but Mother Nature had other ideas. Last night's temperatures set a record low, which sent workers scrambling to prevent their crops from going into a deep freeze.
Everybody's getting really tired of the late nights and in the early mornings and spending money on a lot of diesel fuel and just crunching along here. But if we don't survive, everything else from that point on becomes moot. We've got to make it through, and we've got a lot of people depending on us to.
And the crops aren't in the clear just yet. Another freeze watch is in effect for tonight. It's going to be another very long night for farmers. Breaking news at 11, Miami-Dade police have arrested the man who they say murdered a woman outside a storage facility Wednesday afternoon. Investigators say 27-year-old Wesley Henton confessed to robbing and shooting Jocelyn Augustine. The mother of 4 would have turned 56 Friday. Her family was so upset. Earlier this week, her family made a passionate plea for the public's help in the case. Police told us an anonymous tip helped catch Henton. He was arrested today for an unrelated armed robbery in Miami Gardens. Police say he gave a full confession of the murder on video. And they are still looking for the getaway driver behind the wheel of the white Mazda used in the shooting. The car has a Florida tag, 223 VFK. If you have any information, please call Miami-Dade Crime Stoppers at 305-471-TIPS. We have new details tonight on the Fort Lauderdale police officers who were paid to guard the home of alleged Ponzi schemer Scott Rothstein. 2 have been placed on administrative leave with pay. I spoke with a police spokesman tonight who confirms that Sergeant Steve Greenlaw and Officer Deanna Garcia Lemieux are under investigation for possibly violating department policy. They were coordinators for Rothstein's security detail. And new tonight, police are investigating a murder-suicide in Coral Gables. A man and a woman were having a heated argument while they drove down the 300 block of Catalonia Avenue. The woman apparently jumped out of the car and began running. That's when police say the man shot her and then himself. She was airlifted to Jackson Memorial Hospital, where she later died. Now, the man's body was left on the street for hours. Police have not released the names of the man or the woman. And police are looking for a man who drove his car into a house in Fort Lauderdale and then fled the scene. Fire and rescue towed the car away at 1540 North Andrews Avenue. It caused quite a mess there. A mother and her 2 children live in the home. 1 person was transported to the hospital with minor injuries. Police are still looking for the driver, and the family is staying with friends tonight. The sole survivor of a triple shooting is in critical condition tonight in the trauma center at Jackson Memorial Hospital. Police believe 24-year-old Oscar Camelo was shot by his own stepfather, 55-year-old Julian Marin. Marin apparently also shot and killed his 9-year-old stepdaughter before killing himself. Now, for your money tonight, you may suffer sticker shock at the gas pump when you go to fill up for the week. Crude oil prices went up 20% in the last month, and that is pushing the price up at the pump too. In Miami, drivers are paying $2.83 a gallon on average, and that's up 11 cents in just a week and up a full $1 from a year ago. Though, if you live in Fort Lauderdale, you're doing better. You're paying about $2.81 a gallon. And all of South Florida is paying more than the state average, and the national average is $2.74. Electronics were one of the big sellers this holiday season, and that gave a boost to sales at Best Buy. The electronics retailer said sales rose sharply last month. That's good news for them. Flat panel TVs, notebook computers, and mobile phones were the big sellers. Music and movie sales, though, were down. Now, many of us are very excited that the Super Bowl is coming to South Florida, but some homeowners are especially thrilled because they're hoping to cash in by renting out their houses to football fans. CBS 4's Tiffany Helberg introduces us to one South Florida family hoping to make some big bucks.
Hey, welcome to the Super Bowl home. Come on in.
Gil Garcia is opening up his Hialeah home for the Super Bowl, renting out the 3-bedroom, 3-bath.
We have 2 bedrooms upstairs.
With hopes of a big profit for the big game.
This is the nice part about the house. Here, you come on out here.
He's charging $2,500 a day, or $17,500 for the week. And he's not alone. Hundreds of South Floridians are doing the same thing, posting their properties online as rentals. We found studio apartments charging $5,500 a week and luxury homes, including a boat, priced at $20,000 for the week.
If it happens, it happens. If it doesn't happen, well, hey, it's an experience that I went through.
Garcia says his family always parties for the Super Bowl, so he thought, why not include that in the deal? A backyard barbecue, a bar, theater room, and more.
Are you concerned that, the party might get out of hand and they could destroy your house?
That's basically under control. it's because we're not going to allow everybody to come in here as well. You know, it's going to be a background check.
He says he's had some interest already, but he believes the real rush will come when the Super Bowl teams are determined. He's already determined what he'll do with the extra income.
With the economy, the way everything's going on right now, basically, and the real estate market, is pay the taxes and just basically pay the bills.
So we have a few of those sites on our website for you. If you'd like to check them out, all you have to do is go to CBS4.com. Now, it's important to know that insurance experts say this type of thing is not covered on your homeowner's policy if anything should happen, but you can take out an additional renter's policy for a couple $100. In the newsroom, Tiffany Helberg, CBS 4 News Tonight.
Seems well worth doing that. Well, a senior senator said President Barack Obama would be successful because of the color of his skin. Now the president is responding and the senator is fighting for his political life. Late night laughs are causing some television stations across the country to cry. Find out where Jay Leno may be moving now.
I'm Kim Bokamper. Coming your way tonight on Sports Draft. The Patriots make an early playoff exit thanks to Ray Lewis and the Ravens. But the real fireworks belong to the Cardinals and Packers, who put on a show in the desert. We got all the highlights. Plus, the Hawk is finally headed to Cooperstown. Hear what Andre Dawson has to say about the Hall of Fame. The wrap begins right after the news.
You're watching CBS 4 News Tonight, covering Lauderdale Lakes, Margate, Liberty City, and your South Florida neighborhood. We'll be right back.
Only Katie asks the questions.
How many times did you do crystal meth?
You want answers.
Explain to me why that enhances your foreign policy credentials. Is this photo fabricated? Is this photo a lie?
Only Katie Couric.
Why should Americans sign off on spending billions of dollars?
Only CBS News.
The CBS 4 I-Team gets results for you. If you have a problem you'd like us to investigate, go to CBS4.com/I-Team and let us know.
Republican leaders are calling on Democrat Harry Reid to resign his post as Senate Majority Leader. A new book being released tomorrow quotes Reid as saying President Obama could win the Democratic nomination in part because of his light skin and because he had no Negro dialect. That's a direct quote. CBS 4's Karen Brown has more on the growing controversy.
Well, I think he should.
Top Republicans are calling for Senate Majority Leader Harry Reid to step down.
Democrats feel that they can say these things and they can apologize when it comes from the mouths of their own. But if it comes from anyone else, it's racism.
The Nevada Democrat is in political hot water for racial comments he made about President Obama during the campaign. The new book, Game Change, reports that Reid declared the country would embrace a light-skinned African-American with no Negro dialect unless he wanted to have one. Reid has apologized for his poor choice of words and for offending any and all Americans, especially African Americans. Fellow Democrats are standing by their leader.
I think he is mortified by the statement he's made, and I don't think he should step down.
The book hasn't even been released yet, and President Obama has already declared the matter closed. The president called Reid's comments unfortunate, but accepted his apology. Republicans are crying foul, saying Reid should be treated the same as former Majority Leader Trent Lott. The Republican was ousted in 2002 from Senate leadership positions after he said the nation would have been better off if segregationist Strom Thurmond had won his presidential bid in 1948. Even the first elected black governor, a Democrat, is criticizing Reid.
That one snippet illustrates the need for more open discussion about race.
Something Reid will have to tackle as he not only faces mounting pressure in Washington, but a tough re-election in his home state. In New York, Karen Brown, CBS 4 News.
Well, now from a political earthquake to a real one. So apparently not even a quake can make the governor, Arnold Schwarzenegger, shake. He was giving an interview to NBC's Meet the Press when the 6.5 magnitude quake hit Northern California. So we're going to show this soundbite to you. Keep your eye on the picture on the wall just over his shoulder.
And to get our infrastructure, the water infrastructure passed, pay no attention, it's just a little earthquake.
When you speak, things happen, yeah.
He did not care. The quake hit just after 4 o'clock Saturday afternoon, 33 miles off the coast of Eureka. Now, it did cause some damage, and 30 people went to the hospital with minor injuries. 25,000 people lost power for most of the night. Well, the bitter cold blast we're all dealing with paralyzed some South Florida traditions. The Three Kings Day Parade in Pompano Beach was canceled, but the annual Coconut Grove Food Festival went on as scheduled. CBS 4's Gio Benitez shows us how people were trying to keep warm.
With all these heavy jackets, it may not look like a food festival in South Florida. Most years, it's hot. This year, not even close.
We dusted off the sweaters, we get to wear them once a year. This is that day.
Even the little ones are ready. Why aren't you cold?
Because I have a jacket.
You have a jacket. You never got to wear it, huh? So some chefs had to change their plans from serving chilled food to steaming cuisines.
We actually made a transition. We were doing lobster and mango ceviche, and we took all the lobster that we had and we ended up making a Peruvian lobster and shrimp soup with it.
You know, we just had to try it. I see the steam coming out here.
Yes, and that's what's bringing everybody in right now. They're looking for steam rising from the stalls, from the vendors right now.
Like this couple.
I'm eating, I guess, churrasco, rice and beans, and maduros.
It's warm, huh?
Yes, it's very warm.
And the dog? Even she eats some steak. So even the dog's eating.
Oh yeah, she loves steak. This is all the taste of the grove. She's just tasting stuff,
Tasting stuff and staying warm.
Wow, that was Gio Benitez reporting. So clearly this cold weather is not keeping people from going outside. Jeff Baradelli is going to talk more about our weather. Jeff, I was at Starbucks today and there were a lot of people who were out and about. I was shocked. It was packed in there.
Really? Okay, well, probably because they were trying to get hot coffee. I was out.
But they braved the weather. They walked it.
Well, you know what? People like their Starbucks. I was there twice during the day today. That's a good shameless promotion for Starbucks, I think.
I know. You should pay us.
It's a chilly night, and tomorrow morning you will need your Starbucks. Once again, I don't think are we sponsored by Starbucks? I don't think so. Temperature right now in Weston's 35 degrees. Feels like temperature around 32 degrees. That will vary. Miami Shores at Barry University. It feels like temperature is 31 right now. Actual temperature 39. Key West, a little warmer down in the Keys. 50 degrees is the current temperature. 45 the feels like temperature. Well, if you're new to South Florida and you're from, let's say, New York or Chicago, this may not seem like a big deal, but if you've lived in South Florida for a long time, you know how big of a deal this cold air outbreak is. It is historic. So I want to take you through a weekend timeline. First things first, Saturday morning, temperatures were around 52 degrees or so at 6 or 7 a.m., quickly dropped into the 40s, and you might have noticed during the day on Saturday, lots of steam fog forming over the bay, over the ocean, over the canals, over the lakes. Water temperatures in the mid-70s, air temperatures in the mid-40s during the day. That's a huge difference causing that steam fog to form. Now, later in the day, temperatures dropped into the upper 30s. We had some reports of a couple of wet snowflakes, a couple of flurries, and ice pellets mixed in with a few showers. Temperatures in the upper 30s. And then this morning, we bottomed out right around 32 degrees, which, by the way, is the coldest it's been in South Florida since 1989. This afternoon only got up to 48 degrees. It's almost impossible to see this, but we had cloud cover during the day today and cloud cover yesterday afternoon, so temperatures stayed in the 40s pretty much all weekend, about 30 degrees below normal on average this weekend. And believe it or not, the coldest air to come will be tomorrow morning. I think some areas could approach the upper 20s across the area, and we could see records once again. Temperatures right now holding in the upper 30s to right around 40 degrees because we have some cloud cover out there. Winds are still blowing out of the northwest at around 12 miles an hour or so. So when you factor in the wind, it feels like the low to mid 30s across most of the area. It feels like 32 right now in Homestead, 33 in Opelika, 34 in Pembroke Pines. By morning, if we get rid of the clouds and the winds calm down enough, we're going to see temperatures in the upper 20s in places like Weston, Plantation, Coral Springs, maybe as low as 27 degrees. Fort Lauderdale, maybe down to 32. Remember, there is a freeze warning that's in effect. Into Miami-Dade County, 29 in West Kendall, 33 in Coral Gables, 36 though in Miami Beach. That is no picnic, and no picnic in Key Largo. 38 degrees, the overnight low. 41 Marathon wind chill advisory for wind chills around 30 to 35. So the clouds are finally moving out. This may allow us to get down into the upper 20s, as I stated. High pressure located to the northwest of us, that's building closer and closer, driving that cold air to the south. Our winds are still going to be out of the north tomorrow, so we'll start out with near freezing temperatures. Tomorrow afternoon, it'll be cool. We'll see sunshine, but temperatures probably staying in the upper 50s, probably around 59 degrees. Fast forward to Tuesday, our winds are out of the northeast. It's breezy. Cool start, milder afternoon sun. Into the 60s we go. I think by Wednesday and Thursday, we're approaching 70 degrees with a mix of sun and clouds. And then by Friday, here's the good news. Our winds go out of the southeast. That means temperatures back up to normal into the upper 70s with some spotty showers. Tonight, a freeze warning and a wind chill warning. Lows as low as the upper 20s. During the day tomorrow, a cold morning breeze and cool afternoon afternoon sunshine, a high temperature of 59. If you're boating, another not so good day. North winds around 20 and your seas 4 to 8 feet. Here's a look at your extended forecast. So up to 64 on Tuesday, 68 Wednesday, 72 on Thursday, and welcome the South Florida weather back to our neck of the woods, 77 by Friday. Natalia?
Sure, a lot of people are looking forward to it. Thanks, Jeff. Well, if you've been on Facebook lately, you may have noticed that some people are updating their status with words like black, white, or lavender. And it turns out it's a campaign to raise awareness about breast cancer. And women were asked to update their status with the color of their bra. Facebook managers aren't sure who came up with the idea. Coming up next in sports, highlights from the Heat's West Coast road trip against the Clippers, plus highlights from today's wild card Sunday in the NFL.
Tom Brady, nope.
Wake up and watch CBS 4 News. The greatest show on earth is in town. Next week, we'll take a look at the circus, including the animals and all the performances. Plus, we'll have live weather as you wake up and up-to-the-minute traffic reports. We're on from 5 to 7 a.m. right here on CBS 4.
Imagine buying your dream home, then not getting your mail, not getting your trash picked up, and even police not knowing where you are in an emergency.
They couldn't find us in their system.
The I-Team's David Sutta exposed a South Florida community forgotten by society.
I hadn't got one complaint until you brought the story.
And fought hard to put them back on the map.
The police cars were patrolling the area. Everything just completely turned around.
The CBS 4 I-Team. When we report, you get results.
Prim Sarippat here with sports. Wildcard weekend continues. Bye-bye New England. Wes Welker was out with an injury. The NFL Comeback Player of the Year played like a hot mess, and the Patriots got run all over by the Baltimore Ravens. For McCain's Ray Lewis and Ed Reed jump on the pass today, and on offense, the Ravens don't waste any time. First play from scrimmage, Ray Rice just cuts out the middle, dashes to the left sideline, and 83 yards later, he is in the end zone. 7-0 Baltimore. Later, Tom Brady is going to be intercepted for the third time in just the first quarter. Ed Reed nabs it. He dances away back. He returns it back 25 yards, then laterals it to DeJuan Landry, who then returns it back for another 25. That leads to a field goal, so 24-0 Ravens. And then later in the second half, Willis McGahee is going to tack on a 3-yard touchdown run. The Ravens win 33-14 and hand the Patriots their first playoff home loss since 1978. Ravens will play at Indy next weekend. NFC wildcard game, Cardinals hosting the Packers, and this one's a doozy. Kurt Warner scrambles his Larry Fitzgerald. Fitzgerald spins around and takes off for a 33-yard touchdown pass. Redbirds up 21, but they blow the lead. Less than 2 to go. Aaron Rodgers to Spencer Hovner. Touchdown Packers, and we have got a tie ball game. Next possession, Arizona's Neil Rackers for the game-winning field goal. No good. He misses wide left. We go into overtime. Aaron Rodgers then is stripped, and Carlos Dansby scoops it up and takes it back 17 yards into the end zone. Arizona wins 51-45 in the highest scoring playoff game in NFL history. So the Cardinals advance to the divisional round, but now rumors are swirling around saying Kurt Warner may retire at the end of the season. The Arizona quarterback is a 5-time Pro Bowler, a 2-time NFL MVP, and has 1 Super Bowl ring. Now, the 38-year-old suffered a concussion earlier this season, which raised some questions about the future of his career. I guess we'll see what happens with that. Well, the Miami Heat got their 6-game road trip off on a good note with a tenacious win over the Phoenix Suns, but tonight they get clipped at the Staples Center. D-Wade and company taking on the LA Clippers. It's close in the beginning. D-Wade misses, and Michael Beasley is there with a putback slam. Game tied at 10. Eric Gordon answers, though, and he answers big time with a driving layup, so LA would be up by 10 after the opening quarter. Flash, though, tries to keep the Heat in it. He intercepts and takes it to the other end for 2 of his 24, but it is not enough. Baron Davis and Chris Kaman hook up to put the Clippers up by 17 in the third. Heat lose 94-84, so the Clippers get their 6th straight victory at home. Rasheed Wallace listening to his pump-up music before taking on the Raptors today. Chris Bosh is the one that comes out pumped up. Bosh with a thunder slam. His 31 isn't enough, though. Celtics go into the half up by 9, and then after the break, Rasheed Wallace buries the 3. He would finish with 29 points. Then in the final quarter, Paul Pierce is going to dish it to Rajon Rondo down low for 2. A triple-double for Rondo, 22 points, 10 boards, 13 assists. Celtics win 114-107. The 15th-ranked Vols put on quite a show against the top-ranked Jayhawks. Scotty Hobson goes baseline for the Jam. Vols up by 9. Later, J.P. Prince is going to leap up for the steal. sends it ahead to Hobson again for another slam. So ball is still up, but watch what happens. Tyjon Taylor steals the inbound pass, kicks it out to Brad Morningstar for the three. Kansas pulls within two, and they are still in this game. The Bulls' Skylar McBee, a walk-on, drains a three as the shot clock expires. Tennessee holds on for the upset, 76-68. Well, talking a little baseball, Cuban lefty Aroldis Chapman is close to a deal with the Cincinnati Reds, which is believed to be worth $30 million over 5 years. The Marlins were reportedly interested in the 22-year-old, but he was just a bit too pricey. All right, that's going to do it for sports. We'll be right back.
All new, a family disconnected. Now for 7 days, stripped down.
Hand them over.
No phones, no computers, no TV. Get your life in order expert Peter Walsh moves in. Next Oprah.
Monday at 4 on CBS 4.
Breakfasts. I got breakfasts here, real cheap.
Don't settle for a knockoff breakfast. Save money with a Dunkin' Donuts egg and cheese sandwich for just 99 cents. Try it with egg whites today because it's breakfast, not brokefast. America saves on Dunkin'.
There's a big change on the night shift in late night comedy. A chief entertainment executive at NBC says the 10 o'clock Jay Leno show will be canceled at the start of the Winter Olympics in February. What happens beyond that is up in the air. Insiders say Leno could move to a half-hour show airing at 11:35, and Conan O'Brien may do his show for an hour after that. NBC was getting heat from its affiliates who were complaining that low ratings for Leno hurt their late local news. CBS 4 News Tonight is coming right back.